Might be my reception down there, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the No Sports Talk Show right here live on StreamYard, on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm in the virtual booth right now with my main man, Miles T. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, sir? Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
nothing much, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody jumping in, joining the show tonight, man, giving us a little bit of your time as always to talk some good sports talk, man. We love to do this, man, and got some good stuff to talk about tonight, man. Obviously, we have
Happy
officially.
New Year to everybody, too, also.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
God to see another year.
yes, sir. Sure.
2022, man, it was a wild ride. It was, as every year has some highs, some lows, and but thank God that we persevered through it all, and by His grace we are here.
Yes, sir.
Today. So
And big orange wheels on a high this year, yeah, a high. Yeah.
Hey, it's about time, man.
Yeah.
Love to see it. But first, before we get into our topics, Miles, I just wanted to touch on this real quick because I don't know if you were watching the game on Monday with Damar Hamlin from the safety from the Bills.
Yeah.
When he actually went into cardiac arrest on the field and they had to administer CPR to him on the field. Man, that was probably one of I think one of the scariest things I've ever seen, like watching a football game. Like I never.
I didn't see it live, but I saw it later. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the game. Like I saw him like when they made contact and he hit him, but I think the camera.
He hit him hard though. He hit him good in that chest though. Really.
Yeah, and see the camera. What it is, I think the camera like panned away, kind of. So I didn't actually see him like collapse on the field. Like when
I saw it. See, they showed the video today where I saw it. This is my first time seeing it actually today live, and they did it. I think with T.J. Higgins, that receiver out of Clemson a couple years ago.
T. Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins. Yeah, T. Higgins. Literally. He went straight into. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sorry. His name. He said, "What is it?" The guy's name is
T. Higgins.
No, the other guy.
Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Whatever. His technique when T. Higgins hit him, he was standing straight up, and T. Higgins just ran straight into his chest, though. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying I ain't saying it's his fault and all nothing like that, but I was just saying that the way he was coming at T. Higgins, and T. Higgins lowered his shoulder and his helmet right into his chest, and I think that's what I don't know. You know how fast them guys are going out there. We don't, as us, we're watching the game. They look fast. Can you imagine how fast it is on the actual field? You know what I mean? In that contact.
Yeah.
So
and see, I used to watch when I was a kid. I always used to watch NFL films, and they would show like players on the field in the game time speed, like when they would have players mic'd up, and I know you know what I'm talking about. And they would kind of be showing them how fast they're actually moving, and even then, with it being on TV, it's still like, like dang. But despite all of that, I am thankful to God. He has like pretty much he's gained some strength back. He's actually awake now. And they said that he's still on the breathing tube, but he actually what up, LB? My man, my line brother is in the comments. What's up, LB?
Yeah,
LB Chris. But he actually, they said that he was awake now. He actually wrote he's actually communicating by writing stuff down. So he actually asked them
who won the game. Yeah.
So that was, and they said you won the game of life. So I thought that was really powerful, man. And
definitely,
I really am glad to see, him going from having to need 100% oxygen to just 50 now. And obviously he's still in critical condition, but he's showing, incredible progress, like they said, man. So I just wanted to touch on that, give our thoughts and prayers out to Damar Hamlin and his family, his teammates, and, his friends and other loved ones out there. So definitely wanted to not, go any step further without mentioning that.
Oh, yeah. Prayers
up. Yeah, man. And so next up, man, let's just talk college football. So obviously, like we said, we had the bowl games wrap up. Shout out to y'all little ugly orange dudes getting y'all win. Shout out to Bama for handling business. You know what I'm saying? I'm just messing with you, bro.
You already know. You felt this wrath this year. You felt it.
Man, look, I'm not even about to get into that because it's not about us. But like I said, man, we handled business. We ended out on a high note. The year didn't go like how we wanted it to, but we ended it on a good note. And glad to see Bryce come in there and do what he did and actually created even more value for himself. A lot of people thought that he was taking a risk, but I think that anytime you play in the game, you have an opportunity to create more value for yourself. And looking at him coming in undersized, they already had the questions. I think he checked off some more boxes. But yeah, like my LB said, it won't happen again next year. But I really just wanted to talk about the college football playoffs. So we had two crazy games. Matter of fact, I did not expect them to be, as wild as they were. But just wanted to talk about the first one. We had TCU knock off Michigan. It was 51-45. TCU really couldn't, outside of like that first drive that Michigan had where they drove it right down the field. TCU actually had control for a good majority of that game. Michigan was pretty much playing from behind. I mean, they were fighting back the majority of the game. I mean, they had some pretty big turnovers. They had some pretty big plays, but ultimately, man, TCU actually ended up, running away with it, and they played a lot better than what I guess a lot of people outside of TCU fans expected. And then you had Georgia somehow, some way, miraculously come back after knocking out Marvin Harrison. That's what really started this whole comeback situation. But they were down 14 in the fourth quarter. Ohio State failed to handle business. When you got to put a team away like that. I mean, you can't just let them have their way and drive the ball down the field. Literally, the cornerback falls. It was just pitiful. Don't even get me started. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on that before we talk about the national championship game. What are your thoughts on what you saw?
I kind of knew. Like last week when we talked about, I kind of knew TCU was the more athletic overall team, and that showed on the field first. TCU and Michigan.
Yeah.
Quentin, what's his name? Quentin Johnson. The boy, he as advertised. You saw that big play that almost sealed it. That big long run, that last run that he did almost sealed the game at the time when it came, and it gave them the momentum to go ahead and carry the game on in. Michigan did make a little comeback and had some opportunities, but Michigan's not built to come back. Michigan's built to run the clock, built to play slow, just position football, time possession football. So when they got down a little bit like that to TCU, I don't think they was built for that. Even though they did make a comeback, I think they got robbed on a play one time where they got stopped on the goal line. I think that receiver was actually in on that long deep pass, but then
I know what you're talking about. They ended up scoring on that drive anyway.
No, they did. They got on. They went out for
no, you're talking about the one when because they had two. I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about Michigan, right?
Yeah, Michigan had their opportunity.
Yeah.
So that kind of messed up their momentum a little bit. You down there that close and didn't get no points. You didn't get even 3. You know what I mean? So, so I'm
pick sixes, like
you
can't win a game like that.
That's not, especially at this type of game in this type of environment, and what you're playing for as a national champion to go to the national championship. So, I definitely think TCU was the better team. I thought they was going in, be honest with you. Michigan didn't really show, and I don't think they used their quarterback right. I don't think Jim Harbaugh he didn't start using McCarthy until he really had to use McCarthy. You should have been running with McCarthy earlier in the game, setting the tone. McCarthy, I didn't know he was that athletic. He's athletic, and he's big.
You want to know the problem with that though? Because a lot of their offense was centered around Blake Corum. 90% of their offense was running the football.
Yeah,
and they didn't really have to utilize McCarthy to win games for them, because they literally could just run it, and they're putting up 200 plus yards a game because Blake Corum is going crazy. Even the backup Edwards, he's a pretty big size running back. He's decent. Yeah, he's a decent size running back. But as we can see, like when you put in the game in these quarterbacks' hands, that they're not really known for passing the ball. I mean, he let them pass it more in the Big Ten championship game. Yeah. And when they played Ohio State, I think he had like 20 plus passes. When they played in the Big Ten championship game, he went like 11 for 17. But he passed the ball a lot more. They didn't, but all season he wasn't doing that. If you notice the games that were close, like I go back to the Illinois game. That Illinois game, which they should have lost, should have, could have, would have, whatever. But they should have lost that game. Down the stretch, when he had to make plays with his arm, he couldn't do it. Yeah. I mean, he made a couple, but before I
blame that on coaching, though. I blame that on coaching. I blame that on Harbaugh.
You gotta be balanced.
Yeah, and you gotta make adjustments.
Yeah,
you gotta make adjustments. That's it. If you don't have your star running back that your 90% of your offense or 80% of your offense is based on around it, he gets injured, or when you got 5 more games left in the regular season, it's time for you to adapt. It's time for you to adjust. It's time for you to make some, changes. You gotta get McCarthy. You gotta tell McCarthy, hey, we're gonna pass a little bit more now. Maybe about 10 more passes a game than we've been doing. Exactly. It's something you got to do. It's something that, as a coach, that you got to adjust and adapt to. And I don't think they did the right adjustments throughout the season to get McCarthy ready for a game like this, especially that you've been seeing TCU averaging about 40-something points a game during the season, and it's going to be a high-scoring game, even though they ended up doing it. But you look how far you fought so hard to come back. You didn't have enough at the end to seal it or have the, what I'm saying? So, I just think on that part, I knew TCU was going to – I knew Michigan wasn't going to be able to stop TCU like that, because they're very similar to Ohio State's like offensive firepower. They're that good. And do you know who? Well, we'll talk about that with it. Do you know who TCU's offense coordinator is?
No, I actually don't.
It's Garrett Riley, Lincoln Riley's brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you already know he's an offensive guru.
He is. Yeah, I forgot all about that actually.
Yeah, so I mean, you already know that's what they do. So I mean, they got to do their homework, man. You got to know who you playing against, know your opponent. So I mean, I'm disappointed in Jim Harbaugh, as in the way he didn't make adjustments throughout the season after his star running back got hurt. You know what I mean? So he still, I mean, like you said, the Ohio State game, they opened the house. I guess they just wanted to, they put more effort in. They put that killer instinct into that Ohio State game more than they did in this semifinal. You know what I mean? Yep. They wanted to be Ohio State more than they wanted to go to the national championship. Looked like to me, because they played way better, way more hungrier in that game.
Well, it
was on the road.
Yeah, and a lot of people, obviously, like they're coming in and it was a home game for Georgia. And looking at that game, I just personally feel like it was really just similar to like the national championship last year, where and I want to say this because what made it difficult for Ohio State down the stretch, once they took Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the equation, it made it harder for Ijua, or I don't know how to spell say his last name that good, but it made it harder for him to get open by himself, similar to when John Mechie and Jameson Williams was killing the defense last year. When we entered the game, they were helping each other get open. So you had to respect somebody, and somebody else is going to get open. So if you notice, like during that game, they were having crossing routes. They had like deep posts. A lot of stuff was breaking open for them because they were creating so much havoc and putting so much pressure on that secondary, which nobody challenged them this year. You guys were the only team that on their schedule that really would have challenged them vertically like that, which the way that Ohio State did it, that's how the game, when y'all played them, that's what it should have looked like. Yeah. That's what that should have looked like. But it didn't look like that, unfortunately. But we all see that this Georgia defense, they're not unbeatable. They're not this dominant as people,
they're not like last year's defense. No, they're not as good as that.
No, and that's what I keep trying to tell everybody is it looks good to beat up on, the lower half teams of the SEC East and all of that. But when you're actually playing up against a team with a passing attack that can really expose you, like that's when you start to see. You saw the holes, you saw the undisciplined defense that they had. You saw, the poor tackling. You saw a lot of, they obviously made some good plays too, but overall they did not play a good game at all. So no. I'm not gonna say
Ohio State outplayed them the whole game.
Absolutely. And I put a lot of that on that loss to Ryan Day, because you got it. First and foremost, you get the ball down there and you fail to even move the ball at all. Really, you didn't really move the ball at all. After that nice run by CJ, you didn't move the ball closer to give your kicker a real chance. 50 yards in the dome, like that should be good regardless. Yeah. But still, you know how it is. Yeah. you gotta get closer, man. I don't know. They should have lost that game, but
no, they shouldn't.
It is what it is. But let's get into the national championship game. So TCU versus Georgia going down on next Monday. SoFi Stadium? And thank God they got the national championships coming on a little earlier this year, because sometimes I feel like they have it later. Now it's 7:30, but honestly, it's not really matter because the coverage is going to start. They probably won't kick it off to like 8 anyway. But anyway, who you think is going to win the national championship game? Looking at what we saw out of both of those playoff games, who do you think is going to win?
Well, I think it's going to win. Just what I saw. There's two things: who I think is going to win, and then who I want to win. I want Georgia to win because, of course, we're SEC guys, and we want, if we can't get it, well, we want it to stay at least into the home. Keep it home. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Keep it coming here in the South. The championships. So that's how we want to win. But I think TCU might get them, man. I think TCU is going to be a little more hungrier. Because this is their first time. I think this might be their first time in school history in the national championship. You know what I'm saying? It might be. I meant to look that up, but I had forgot to. But I can't remember. I know in my lifetime I ain't never heard of TCU in no national championship. When I've been alive 43 years, so I've never heard of it. So it might have been back in the day before it with face mask or something. I don't know, but
somebody did it on a video game.
Oh yeah, probably. But other than that, man, I'm going with. I think Max Duggan. He's a mobile quarterback that's not afraid of the moment. He's a good thrower, good passer. I think he's going to be a first round pick. Actually, I think he's going to be a first round pick. And of course, we already talked about Quentin Johnson. And then the undercover guy that people ain't talking about is really Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller, yeah. Over 1,400 yards rushing over the season, 17 touchdowns on an average of 6.2 yards per carry. Them are big time numbers, man. Absolutely. And I don't care what conference you're in, them are big time numbers. So, and they're mainly known for their passing. So, but that just shows how balanced they really are, you know. So, I think they're going to keep Georgia on here. One thing you're not going to do with Georgia is run. They're going to take that away. So, Mr. Miller ain't going to really. Long as they keep them honest, though, you know, long as the TCU keeps them honest, keeps Georgia's on the heel, especially offensively, passing the ball, which I think Garrett Riley will, just being the mastermind that him and his brother is on the offensive side of the ball. I'm sure Lincoln Riley's giving him some tips. I'm sure they're spending time together right now talking about, you know, some game plans and watching film together about, look here, little bro, you should do this right here, little bro. Check this out. Look at the weakness right here on this left side right here. Look at this guy right here. He's coming in for so and so. They're looking at them holes in the defense, and they're gonna be well prepared for Georgia. And don't get me wrong, Georgia's defense is like basically the number 5 defense in the country versus the number 5 offense or something like that overall. So it's like the best versus the best. You know what I'm saying? So. But TCU's defense ain't no slouch either. They were number 1 or 2 in the Big 12, you know, so which ain't hard to be. But
right, they give up a lot of yards.
Yeah,
they give up a lot. But they do. You know, it's the Big 12.
But we know Georgia's not an explosive offense. They're not. Yeah. They got moments, but they're not consistently explosive. You know, So
hey, mom is tuning in from YouTube. What's up, Mom? But
how you doing, Miss Johnson?
But yeah, I agree. So you got TCU.
I got TCU with the win, but I want Georgia to win to keep it in the South.
So you speak for yourself because I can care less if Georgia win or not. Look, all that keep it in the SEC. Look,
I like it, man. I'm greedy.
Listen, if it's not Bama, it's not nobody, bro. Forget that. Like,
I'm greedy.
Everybody was like, oh, even when Auburn went to the national championship, you don't want Auburn. No. If it's not us, it's not nobody. Like, forget that. And Georgia is the last team I would actually go for in a national championship game, especially living here, bro. No, I'm not trying to hear that for a whole nother.
That's true. I like the Spencer Bennett story, though. I like the walk-on getting 2 national championships back to back. I like. That's a good story.
Well, Max Duggan got a story too, but nobody really talks about it. Everybody's so focused on, oh my God, it's Georgia and Stetson Bennett's story and da da da. He's 26 years old. It's time to stop. Okay, like,
he's 25. He's 25.
Okay, and everybody else is 18 and 19. Like, come on, bro. But anyway, you know, I have TCU too, but the reason why, you know, for me, looking at the way Georgia played defense, I get, you know, they had some explosive plays on offense and they were able to run the ball. And, you know, a lot of their most explosive plays were on the ground.
I like Kendall Milton. He's a good running back.
Yeah. He's a solid running back. Like he had a lot of, and really all 3 of their running backs had a pretty solid game.
Yeah.
For the most part. They have a nice 1-2 running back punch.
1-2-3 punch, actually.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, Brock Bowers. I mean, I know this is probably not going to happen again, but they contained Brock Bowers, which, you know, you don't really see that happen. They didn't get him the ball. Stetson Bennett threw 2 interceptions in the game. Should have been another one. He doesn't really protect the football. Georgia gave up over 430 yards of offense. You're not gonna. You can't give up almost 500 yards of offense to another team. And I know you spoke about them being able to run the football. It's not just with their running back, though, Keandre Miller. They also got to account for Max Duggan because you can run the ball in different ways. So with the way that Max Duggan he actually creates a lot of stress and strain on these defenses because he's a big guy.
Yeah,
so when the pocket breaks down, he can tuck the ball. He's not afraid to run. You know, he's a big body, kind of like the Tim Tebow style kind of guy. Like he's a big dude. So, and then, you know, I'm interested to see, you know, if they're going to get If they're gonna, I do think that they will, if they're passing attack, if they can establish the run and kind of stick with it, get, maybe 3-4 yards carry, that makes it, that makes it more manageable for them. It is going to be hard to run against the Georgia defensive front, which
definitely
usually
especially
is.
with Jalen Carter in the middle. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it usually is. But there is a way to get around that. There are ways. They just have to really pay attention to the field, because I didn't really expect Ohio State to be able to run the ball against Georgia anyway. I know they had their running backs are solid. And they did a pretty decent job. I think they had over 100 yards rushing against them. I mean, it's pretty decent. But ultimately, I think that the TCU passing attack and the way that Quentin Johnson creates the matchup problems that he creates with him being 6'5", 200 plus pounds, that's a huge dude. And I'm pretty sure Mingo is probably going to be guarding him because he's the best receiver and he's like their best DB. But I mean, Ringo, I said Mingo. But even then with Ringo, I'm not really too sold. I mean, he's a solid corner, but I'm not too sold on him to be able to like shut him down.
Not him, not Quentin Johnson. He's going to be a D1. He's going to be a first round pick too.
He will, but I'm not counting him to shut down Quentin Johnson.
No, I'm talking about Quentin Johnson's going to be a first round pick.
Oh, yeah.
Ringo's good enough to. I don't think he's going to be able to shut him down. I think he can keep him maybe in check a little bit. I don't
even know about keeping him in check, bro. Like, he can make a play or two, but I'm just saying, like,
he ain't gonna get none of that. He ain't gonna get no 65-yard run like he got on Michigan. He ain't gonna get that on Georgia. Not in no national championship game.
No, I mean that I do, but he could catch the way that he did that. That's different. He did that on the end around. He's not. I doubt that he's gonna do an end around for a 65-yard touchdown.
Not on Georgia. Not gonna happen.
Through the air, he creates matchup problems. So I definitely think that, they have Georgia's 12.5-point favorite right now. But again, like, I still think that TCU is just that Cinderella story. I didn't want TCU to win. I didn't want them to get in the 4, but they just kept winning. They kept coming back. They're battle tested. The team just finds a way to win. But I definitely am not going to sit up here and tell you that, like, I want Georgia to win the game, because I don't. I'm getting tired of the whole,
Hold up. You done made me change my mind. Now, just because you said you're getting tired of the whole what? No, an Alabama fan just didn't say you getting tired of what?
No. You didn't even let me finish what I was about to say. I was just saying I'm getting tired of people. I was going to say I'm getting tired of people acting like Georgia is unbeatable when they are beatable. That's what I was going to say.
But they was acting like y'all was unbeatable at the beginning of the season. You saw who gave y'all first L this year. They was thinking like y'all was unbeatable.
People always act like we're unbeatable, but I mean, you talking to somebody that, look, I'm realistic when it comes to real Alabama fans. When we're watching our football games, we can tell when we have like holes and deficiencies like early on in the season, like that. Even when we're playing the smaller teams, like when we're looking at our games, it could be week 1 versus Marshall. Well, why are we not moving the ball? Why are we not doing? You know what I'm saying?
Versus Texas, y'all should have lost to Texas if Texas didn't get their quarterback hurt.
Hey, oh well. It's a lot of stuff that could have happened if people didn't get hurt, but we just gonna leave that in the past. But I'm just saying that real fans who watch the team know that this wasn't the best, one of our best teams, but it wasn't the worst team that Saban's coached. It wasn't the worst. They just didn't get the job done this year, and it is what it is. But I just, like I said, I personally think that TCU is a team that you can't really play around with them, and I don't think that you're not going to play defense like that and just and have this miraculous comeback. And TCU has some pretty solid. They have some pretty solid dudes. They're not a small team.
No,
they got some pretty big guys that can kind of
match athletic. Up. They're athletic.
Yeah, they can match up across the board. So I'm rocking with TCU. If TCU wins this game, I could see TCU winning by like 3 or 4. Maybe a touchdown, but it just depends on really if Stetson Bennett, how he plays, because I just really don't trust him.
And I think he's gonna every time you doubt him though, that's when he comes out and shines on you though.
but does he really? Because I mean, he really is careless with the ball. And you talk about, okay, can we really say like, oh yeah, he shined, the DB fell. He dude was wide open. It ain't like he, it's not like he just got up there and just was dicing him up the whole time. But he does make plays. I'm not saying he's not a bad play.
With his legs too.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I'm not saying he's not I'm not saying he's not a good player, because he's a good player. He makes plays, he does his thing, but I'm still not the person to be like, if I need him to go win me a game, like go win me the game. Like I just still, I don't know, the way he turns the ball over and the decisions that he makes. Like I said, Ohio State really just fell apart because they couldn't create separation anymore. Which
wasn't surprising right. That they fell apart.
I knew that was going to happen because I personally feel like if Marvin Harrison stays in that game, Ohio State, it doesn't come down to the wire like that. Like, I think Ohio State would have won that game by at least 10. I don't think it would have came down to that, because they would have been able to. They were moving the ball with ease, bro. Like it was literally with ease. Like
it was ugly.
After that first quarter, it was literally with ease. But like I said, I'm not gonna sit up here and make excuses. Georgia battled back. That's tough to do. Down 14 in the fourth quarter, and hold on. But again, we all saw what we saw.
I think TCU got a real chance of winning, but I think they got a chance of winning, but you never know. Georgia, you Kirby Smart, he's showing me. I know what kind of defense he's gonna have his defense ready, but he's gonna be like, man, do you know what y'all gave up 500 something yards, man? He said, y'all do that again. He's gonna throw. I can hear Kirby Smart he's passionate, and he's gonna get under his team's skin and his defense and say, like, don't y'all ever do that. Beep, beep, beep again. I can hear him right now. And Georgia's going to play with a purpose in that national championship, especially that defense.
I mean, Kirby can yell at them all he wants to. They still got to go out there and defend.
And do it. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just like us. You saw what South Carolina did to us, and look how we played the last two games. Our defense against Vanderbilt and against Clemson.
Yep.
Lights out.
I still think that I still feel like that was targeting against Marvin Harrison, but we just gonna leave it there. That looked like targeting to me. I'm sorry. Mama did too. Huh?
I didn't actually see that.
You didn't see that play? When they took him out of the game, he launched at him. I felt like that was targeting, but you know what? We're in Georgia, so you know how it's going.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Mom said, that was a bad call. But it's all good. Like I said, like we both rocking with TCU. I think they're gonna shock the world. TCU is really that Cinderella story of the year. So what better way to end it than winning the national championship game? And I couldn't even be mad at it because, hey, they ran the table and they got here. I did not think that they would make it, but they did. So. But hey, we're gonna go on a break, y'all. We're gonna come back, give y'all a little inspiration, jump back into sports. So keep it locked right here on the No Sports Talk Show. All right, we're back on the No Sports Talk Show. This is around the time where we give y'all our inspirational segment, man. We just always want to jump in and give you guys some positive thoughts and some good, words of wisdom and that, you could take with you to finish off this week. And especially, it's Friday Junior, man. We're excited, man. The week is coming to an end, but we got to get that final push, man. And what better way to give you some inspiration, man? And, I really just wanted to, use this time to just talk about, like, the power of prayer, man, and really looking at, like we already touched on earlier in the show, man, the Damar Hamlin situation, man, when he first went down and, you know, they talked about, you know, they had to give him CPR and he was down on the field for 9 minutes. And, you know, they finally, you know, were able to get enough to be able to get him in the ambulance and get him to the hospital. And he wasn't breathing on his own, but they finally was able to get his heart to beat. And, you know, the whole time, like, you see the team holding around, you know, on the field, kneel down, praying for him. You see, you know, the entire world stop, you know, social media. We just, and even me immediately, like, in my brother, we're watching the game, you know, immediately bow our heads and just say a prayer and just, you know, you just hope and pray that everything is gonna, you know, work out, because to be truthfully honest, we saw like this was a life or death situation, like like we've never seen before. But I think that, you know, prayer is definitely powerful. Prayer is real and prayer works, man, because, you know, not even, you know, 2 days after this situation happens, man, a little over 2 days, he is, you know, made tremendous progress in progress that they did not think that he would be able to make this soon, and this early. So that just goes to show you, man, when you really really talk to God and you really are interceding on behalf of other people, because we weren't in this situation. This wasn't our family. You know, we don't know him personally, but everybody coming together around the world to really pray for him and intercede for him on his behalf and praying for his family. And you saw how God turned that thing around, man. So that you can't tell me that, you know, God isn't real. You can't tell me that, you know, prayer don't work. So, you know, I just want to, you know, encourage people to let you out know that, like, you know, look at this situation, like whatever it is that you're going through, you know, a lot of us, we have, you know, stuff that we go through every day, and you know, different things happen, and we get irritated and we get upset, but, you know, it could always be worse.
Yeah.
You know, it could always be worse. So, you know, just continue to pray, continue to, you know, have faith, continue to believe, because God can turn your situation around just like that. And that's what I want to say, man. And like I said, he's obviously still in critical condition, but he's making the progress, and, you know, he's still fighting, and, you know, God is right there with him in that hospital. So, you know, that's my encouragement for everybody, man. You got anything to add to that, bro?
Not really, man. It's just like, just don't count the days of your life. Make the days of your life count, man. It's because you never know what happened. This young man was living his dream, doing 6th-round pick, man. You know, just living his dream and doing everything he was supposed to do in life to keep doing it. And he just got hurt, you know, in a game that he loved to play, and, you know, and you just never know. You never know that somebody. I mean, these guys put their bodies at risk each and every day, but you never thought it'd be your life. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Just thank God for each and every day, man. Because no matter what situation, what atmosphere it is, it can be taken. You know, never know. You know, so it's 2023. Hey, recognize. Hey, look forward and stay forward and stay positive.
Absolutely.
Give God His glory, man.
Absolutely. Hey, man, that's what we got for y'all, man. And look, as I always say, man, that's straight off the top, straight from our heart, man. We didn't rehearse that, man. We speak what's on our heart, and you know, we hope that touches everybody out there that's tuned in right now, man. And again, that's our goal, is to do that. So, jumping back in, man, let's take it to the NBA. I know we spend a lot of time on college football, but that's because we love the sport, man. It's so exciting to talk about. But jumping in, man, talking to NBA, looking at the East and the West, man, who would you say, Miles, is the beast of the East and the beast of the West? You know, obviously we saw the Nets had their 12-game winning streak snapped by my Chicago Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Had to go ahead and stop that real quick. I know we're not going nowhere right now, but it looked real good to be able to stop that streak. And then, you know, you got the West, man, where things are really shifting, going back and forth. With teams going on some nice win streaks, and you got Denver now at the one spot, with Memphis behind them, and the Pelicans moved to third. When just, I think last week when we were on our show, The Pelicans were first in the East. And then, in the West, excuse me. And now, in the East, you got Boston up there still. You got Milwaukee, you got Brooklyn. But, just curious to, get your thoughts on that, Miles, and who you think are, the beast in each one of those conferences going forward.
I still think the Boston Celtics are the best team in the East because they just got so much experience together as a team. Especially their big three players, but Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those three right there. It's like their big three. You know what I mean? So, now Kyrie and Kevin starting to come around. They're starting to mesh together. I think Jacques Vaughn is coming in there, change the culture, change the atmosphere of the team to where like learning how to work together. Quit worrying about social media. Quit worrying about what outside people say. This is our clubhouse. This is our locker room. Don't worry about what they say. No matter if you're doing good or bad, somebody's gonna say something. So leave it alone. You grown. You're making millions. Handle your business, man. Do your job. Play the game, man. And I like the way Kevin Durant does. It was I can't remember what game it was. It was a buzzer beater that Kyrie got, but Jacques Vaughn was drawing up a play for Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant said, "No, drop a play for Kyrie." They showed that on ESPN where they did how they go inside the huddle when they're sitting down.
Yeah,
they did that, and they showed where Kevin Durant said that. He said, "No, drop a play for Kyrie," and it worked to perfection. Kyrie went out there, did that step back, led to the ledge, and sinked it, and it was like
they were playing Toronto in that game.
That was Toronto, yeah, and it was. I mean, they're meshing together at the right time. I mean, it's right. It ain't All-Star break yet; it even came, so it's still early in the season. You never know what can happen.
Right.
I mean, we look over there. I mean, we're still in the East, but look at the West right now. Look at LeBron them out there, and the Lakers starting to come around a little bit. They went to Miami. They not went to Miami, but Schroeder came out with 32 points last night, and Westbrook, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. They're not just what's wrong with the Lakers? They're just not consistent. But back to the East, I was saying. It's too early to tell right now still because the Pelicans look they don't went down to third place and Zion they pulled his hamstring. He ain't played
he's out 4 weeks.
Yeah, so and I would have loved to see that matchup tomorrow with between the Nets and the Pelicans with Zion in there. That would have been exciting. Good matchup. So it's really wide open still. We can't count out Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, they got a squad, man. When it gets down to the playoffs, when it's a 7-game series, is totally different than that one night and 2 nights and stuff like that. It's when you got to beat a team 4 times, it's hard. It's hard in the series. So it's really wide open still. I mean, but those and I mean you can't count out. Look at Donovan Mitchell out there putting up 71 points on your boys. Yeah.
On our head. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can't count Cleveland out of the East. Those are 4 good teams right there that's good enough to win it all, really, if they play right and consistently. So, and in the West, it's just wide open. There's no dominant team in there, and I don't see any of those teams really being able to beat one of those 4 teams out of the East. I really don't in a 7-game series. I don't see nobody out of the West that could beat one of those top 4 East teams in the NBA Finals right now. I don't see not one team out of the West. I can't think of one. Maybe New Orleans if they're.
Denver could.
7-game series? No, I don't
think Denver or Memphis could give them a run.
I say Memphis or New Orleans.
Well,
maybe Denver.
A healthy Zion, yeah.
For sure.
Dallas, I mean, Dallas is Luka. That's the Luka Mavericks. That's what that is. Like, we're not even gonna sit up here.
I put Marcus Smart on Luka. I put Marcus Smart on Luka.
He was defensive player of the year.
Exactly. I put Marcus Smart. If it was the Boston, then I put Marcus. I like Marcus. Get him, man.
Get him, man. Handle my lightweight. Yeah. But for me, obviously you're looking at Boston, Boston and Milwaukee in the Nets. I can't say like who's a beast, between those. I mean, the Boston Celtics are a beast, you know, but it's not between those three teams. It's still they're neck and neck. You know, I thought that the most impressive thing that I saw, you know, out of that top, you know, three was just what the Nets were able to do, just putting together, you know, that streak. Can they sustain that? You know, a lot of people were talking about. I didn't think that it was. I mean, it obviously had to end at some point. But when it comes down to like you said, a 4-game series, do I trust Brooklyn to be able to knock off a Milwaukee or knock off the Boston Celtics? Right now, I can't really
even
say.
Cleveland got a good squad, man.
Yeah, I can't sit up here and tell you that I would be confident that the Nets will win any of those series. You know, I just can't. So looking at it, you know, Boston, you still got to give it to them. I still like Milwaukee. You know, Giannis is still Giannis. Mm-hmm. They still just got to put, you know, things together. And they're literally only a game back from first place. So it's not like Milwaukee has that. It's not that much of a gap between the two. I mean, even Brooklyn. I mean, it's they're a game back too. So the gap is not that, and Cleveland. So you know, it's a lot of stuff that's still in play in the East. I mean, you got the 6th seed is only 5 games out of first place.
Oh yeah.
And then even the Bulls, I mean, my Bulls, I mean, they really struggled to put it together, but they won 6 out of the last 10. I mean, they put together a little streak, and you know, you got the play in, so you never know what can happen.
Y'all get in the play in, but y'all gonna play yourself right on out.
Hey, chill out. Hey, look, hey. We had some issues of getting it together on I don't know. They're starting to put it together better now, as you can see, like knocking off, you know, teams. So they
can't stay healthy though. That's your problem.
Yeah, and Alex Caruso is hurt now again too. So I mean, and honestly, if we had Lonzo, like we would be fine. But you know, it is what it is. That really hurt us a lot going into this year because everybody saw how we were playing when we had Lonzo and we had like our team. We were balling. We were first in the East, and then he got hurt, and then it was downhill from there. But we're not talking about that anyway. I'm going to focus to stay on topic. The West, man.
I don't have a best team in the West. It's just too wide.
Yeah, I got I mean, I like Memphis. Memphis is my favorite team in the West.
That's my second favorite. I like New Orleans. I really do. I'm a Zion fan too.
Yeah, I like Zion. I like Ja. I like Ja and Zion. Yeah. So it's kind of like for me, I would love to see both of them like in the series together. Like that would be great.
I would love to see that Western Conference Final matchup. Yeah,
that would be great. You know, but yeah, it's kind of really to answer the question. It's too hard to say who's the beast in either conference, just because it's still close. You know,
and it's still early, and it's
still early. Now, when somebody puts up a 8 to 10 game lead over everybody else, then you can say, okay, they're the beast. But with it still being one game within the top 5 teams, you know, it's we can't really say that. Well, it's between like 2 to 3 games for the top 6, for the top 6 teams. So you know, it is what it is. But I do like that though, because you know, it's just nobody's running away with it. It's anybody's to take. So moving on, man. Let's go to college basketball. Who do you think is playing the best right now in college basketball? And then I just want to go over the rankings really quick as they stand, because we're going to get some new rankings this weekend. Obviously, I want to say the rankings are going to come out on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, the new rankings. So right now, as it stands, you have Purdue sitting at number 1, but they just got upset by Rutgers. You got Houston at 2. I think Houston plays tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Kansas at 3, UConn is 4, Arizona's 5, Texas is 6, Alabama 7, Tennessee's 8, Gonzaga's 9, and UCLA is 10.
Yeah, we're putting out one spot ahead of us or something. Man, what?
You want to know why, bro? Because we have better we have better wins than y'all. We have better wins.
What?
Michigan State, UNC, number 1 Houston on the road. Come on, bro. Those are top wins. And 11-2. We got the best freshman in the SEC, Brandon Miller. Come on, bro. Like, y'all not touching us when it comes to we're gonna
settle that on the court. We're gonna
y'all not touching us when it comes to the resume. That's why we're above y'all. And I know
you did all that. You only one spot ahead.
I know it's frustrating because you seeing the same thing you saw in college football, where we're always just above Tennessee.
One step ahead, huh? One step ahead.
Rocky Top is just sitting there looking from below. I never seen you be on top and still look from below. It's interesting.
Well, I know we're 30-0 at home the last 2 seasons though. Over the last 30 games, we're 30-0.
Boy, that was a good one.
No, it wasn't.
That was a good one. Good old Rocky Top. But you know, so like I said, who do you think is playing the best? If you can say who's playing the best, really, because there's some teams that
it's kind of like NBA right now. It's like wide open still. Yeah, it really is. About a week ago, I would have said it was Connecticut, but they done dropped 2.
UConn. I think that they just lost. Good. They lost to Providence, didn't they?
Yeah, they just lost to Providence.
Ooh, they out of the top 5.
No, well, yeah, they're gonna be in the top 10 still probably, but I really don't have one team. I mean, right now Purdue, Ohio State was just beating them a while ago when I was looking at it before the show started.
Purdue, they're actually tied up with they're tied up with a minute and 14 seconds left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Purdue might go down again tonight.
Houston is smacking SMU 80-43. So
Kansas should have lost last night to Texas Tech.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah, so I mean, you really can't. I don't know. It's really hard to. Golly,
I'm telling you, bro.
So I mean, the only thing I could do is just ride with my boys from Knoxville. Shoot, because I mean, I believe we got a top 5 defense. I think we have trouble scoring sometimes. I don't trust our offense because we're real streaky.
Mm-hmm.
We're real streaky. So that's the only reason I don't give us that. If we had that one scorer, that one guy that could just get we had that Kennedy Chandler this year or something.
Mm-hmm.
To add on with what we got, because I think we got probably a top 5 defense in the league. I mean, in the nation. So defensively, I'm not worried at all. It's just offensively, we can get. I mean, we can make about 4 or 5 3-pointers and hit about 10 shots, offensively good possessions in a row. Then we just go in a drought for about 3 minutes of not scoring. I'm like, what are y'all doing, man?
Yep.
It's just but we still play good defense to keep us in the game or to keep us ahead, but. It's just like we're streaky on that. But like you said, it's just no number 1 team. So, I mean, if you want to pick anybody, I guess you got to say Houston,
We knocked Houston off.
Huh?
We knocked Houston off.
Yeah, but that was like 5-6 weeks ago,
But it was on their home court, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying that was their only loss, but they've been good ever since. So, I'm just saying, I mean, y'all got 2 losses, though. I mean, I really, besides that game,
but they're to UConn and Gonzaga though. They're to the top 10 teams. You know what I'm saying?
Who's that? Y'all beat UConn too?
No, the teams we lost to UConn in the little the beginning, like one of them tournaments at the beginning.
Okay, got you.
And we lost to Gonzaga in one of them crossover games.
Oh, y'all lost to Gonzaga. We beat Gonzaga by 20 something. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we lost to them. We lost to them by 10 because the biggest thing for us, like I think. I mean, I'm rocking with my boys all day, but I think that our biggest issue is we turn the ball over. But I do love our ball movement. We're the number 1 rebounding team in the country. So I like the way we rebound the ball. I think that a lot of times, our team, we have a younger team, so they tend to move a lot faster. They might make an extra pass they don't have to make, but I do like the intention and the way Nate Oates has them, sharing the basketball and moving it. I do think that they take really good shot selection. We got some shooters on the team. Bama is balling this year. And we're a team that'll be right in the thick of it, when it comes to the tournament. I mean, obviously, I think the SEC as a whole, will be represented pretty well. But really and truly, probably by Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas, I can see all 3 of us being those guys.
I was about to say Arkansas too. I watched them last night. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that game against Missouri. Yeah, they ball. They really do.
I like their point guard. He's one of my favorite players to watch. Ricky Cancel.
Yeah, Ricky Council. Yeah, he's
6'7" point guard. 6'7". That's nice.
Yep. So, yeah, you can't, you know, other than anybody else, but you know, you can't really say.
Yeah, it sounds bad, but it's a good thing. I mean, it shows it's good basketball being played. You know what I mean? It's wide open, so it makes for an exciting season. So
exactly. So yeah. And then moving on to our last, we already kind of touched on this with Donovan Mitchell dropping 71 points the other night against the Chicago Bulls. And then immediately after that, they got randomly, well, the next day, they received a random drug test. Do you believe that this was fair? Like, what, like, how are you feeling about a random drug test after Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 points? Like, what message are they trying to send to you know, the league, and to what are they trying to say? What are they insinuating when it comes to what they decided to do?
I was talking to a buddy of mine at work today. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I don't know if you remember before Jalen Hurts got hurt that last game that the Eagles showed out and A.J. Brown had a big game. A.J. Brown, the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they did a random drug test on him the next day too. So it's kind of like I'm like, what? I don't know what I'm like. I don't know if the league or the NBA or the NFL, I don't like, are they insinuating like these guys ain't supposed to be this good? These guys ain't supposed to be playing this good. I mean, I'm not sure what they're trying to do with this. I don't know. I mean, like, oh, if you have a 60-point game, 70-point game, we're gonna drug test you. You might be on some PhDs or.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Like, I mean, they're not working on their game. They're not just getting better. I mean, I don't understand that either. So,
yeah,
I really don't get the method of it. I don't understand, but I don't know. It's really like I just don't know. I just think that's just something that they're doing now. I guess it's just like something they're probably going to keep doing too. I mean, they ain't doing that to LeBron. They ain't doing.
I was about to say, did they do LeBron scored 80 points over 80? Well, you know, he scored 47 and 43.
Back to back, I believe.
So he scored 90. He scored over 90 points
at 38 years old. 39, mate. No, he's 38.
No, he scored 90. He scored 90 points in 2 games.
At 39,
he's 38, and he ain't. They not doing that because he ain't having. First and foremost, he not having that. You're not drug testing LeBron after no game. I don't care who you are. It's not going to happen.
Well, right? I thought it was the next. I think it was the next day they did it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like not immediately after the game, but I meant to say the next day. You're not doing that to LeBron, bro. Like, can you imagine? Could you imagine them telling Michael Jordan like, "Oh yeah, you just dropped 60. Like, you want to come on, you know, get this drug test." Like what? Do you know who I am? We're not gonna sit up here and act like Donovan Mitchell don't get buckets. I mean,
yeah, I'm like, I mean, they didn't
drug test. Rest in peace to Kobe. Could you imagine them telling Kobe after he dropped 81? Hey, Kobe, you want to come? You know, we got to drug test you real quick.
Yeah.
What?
Donovan was getting 30, 40 points a game in Utah. I mean, he's been
doing 40 games consecutively.
In the playoffs.
He was keeping them alive.
Yeah.
So
I
don't agree with that. You know, you can't just sit there just because somebody balls out, like now you're insinuating that they're taking, you know, PEDs. Like I don't agree with that. You know.
No, either. I don't agree with it either, but it might be something they just doing now because they might have caught some people doing it though. That's probably why they're doing it more randomly now.
I guess so, but you're talking about a scorer who's been scoring.
Yeah, so I don't get that.
We're not gonna sit up here.
I think he's earned his reputation to. It's kind of. I mean, we're surprised he got 71, but if he would have got 51 or 60, that wouldn't have surprised me. I'd be like, oh, okay, that's Donovan. Yeah.
So like if JaVale McGee drops 50 in the paint, then you like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? That's like Dwight Howard dropping 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
well,
bro.
he did it in China, didn't he? Didn't he do about 50 in China?
In China, yeah, in China, yeah. Dwight Howard is Shaq in China. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Please, but I can understand if Patrick Beverly go out and drop 50 or something like that. Then it's like, all right,
yeah.
Then it's like, okay, bro, like you ain't never, never in the history of the NBA. Well, not in your years you've been in the NBA, you've never done that. So
I barely seen them get 20.
So I don't know if this is a new thing. I want to see them do it to everybody. Then if they you can't just exclude people. If people dropping 40, 50-point games, then try to do it to everybody and see what happens. Boy, I'm telling you, this is a player. This league is run by the players. They better look. They better stop.
Yeah, if they keep it up and the players if they keep complaining, if they can start complaining about it and feeling disrespected and kind of like that, they're gonna let them know, and they're gonna have the NBA Players Association gonna get involved for sure.
Absolutely, as they should. So, but hey, we'll definitely see. Hey, y'all, that was all we have for y'all tonight, man. Again, we appreciate everybody jumping in, as always, giving us some of your time. We appreciate all of the love and support. Continue to rock with us, man. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find that on YouTube. It's the No Sports Talk Show. Just search that in the YouTube channel. You see the logo that you see at the top right hand corner of my screen, immediately above, to the top right of my head. And you'll see that, and you'll know that you got the show right. Also, you can follow our Facebook page. It's the same thing, the No Sports Talk Show on there as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because it'll let you know when we're going live. And if you follow the Facebook page, it'll also let you know when we're going live as well. So, Miles, go ahead and say goodbyes out of here, bro.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year to everyone, man. Thank you for watching tonight, whoever's tuning in. And we are going to get this stream, all this glitching, we're going to get that cleared up here soon, real soon. So just thank you for kicking it with us on this Thursday night, man. And thank God. And Vols Nation, we're back. Let's get it.
Like I said, man, appreciate everybody, man. Like Miles said, Happy New Year, man. Thanks to y'all. And we'll see y'all again next week, man. And as we always say, man, peace, blessings, and y'all know what it is, man. Roll Tide.
Go Vols.